Hello and welcome to Masters Academy's Copywriting and Content Marketing course. In this course, we begin to work on some of the more practical things, and we actually start to apply the digital performance marketing model in practice. So we'll first learn how to write great copy, and then we'll take that skill to the content marketing area where we can actually use our writing to attract traffic and customers to our websites and businesses and become a media ourselves. So let's just look at where we are going to start. Of course, we'll have a short introduction. And when we talk about copywriting, I think there's no one better to quote than David Ogilvy. He is probably the first marketer, or more like it, a copywriter, to buy a castle in France, which you can see here. And what he has to say about copywriting is that it is the ability to use the written word to persuade someone to take action. And we are going to be talking about David Ogilvy a lot because he formed a lot of the fundamental concepts behind copywriting, and he was also one of the best at it in the 50s and 60s. And so we have a lot to learn from him. Now, second, I want to talk to you about the value of copywriting itself. So copywriting in and of itself can be a profession, and it's a very good one, a very lucrative one, a very well-paid one. And I want to show you why. So let's take, for example, that a business has a landing page or a product page where they are selling their product. Let's say that this is their website right now, and they make about $100,000 a month from that product, with a conversion rate of 1%. So if you can write a better copy that better explains, introduces, and sells their product and increase their conversion rate by 1% to 2%, you can increase their revenue per month by $100,000. Now, if they are going to make $100,000 more every month from what you just did, how much money do you think you can ask for it? Well, turns out that copywriters get pretty good salaries, and I have taken some time to research how good the copywriter salaries are, especially in the United States, and you can see that they start at around $36,000 to around 110, even sometimes 130,000 per month. So the range of the salary of a good copywriter is between $3,000 to $10,000 per month. And of course, if you are better, some people at the top of the industry, which have their own agencies and so on, can charge even more than that. And of course, copywriting seems deceivingly simple, but it's not. So we are going to take this course and I'm going to show you all the tips and tricks. But copywriting, as you will see later on, is actually salesmanship in text form, where you don't have the opportunity to talk to the people, you don't have the opportunity to ask questions, you don't have the opportunity to handle objections very easily. You do have it, but it's a bit more difficult. And so copywriting is very lucrative, but it's not easy because we really have to dig deep into the values of the products, into the values of the company, and we really need to have a deep understanding of the customers and the products and the entire market and the competitors and a lot of things to be able to write compelling copy. It's not as easy as it seems at the high level, but at the low level, it's very easy to get as good as or even better than the majority of people and reach at least the early stages of the salary. So copywriting is actually a very good place to start with because if you train a lot on writing copy, it kind of goes through a lot of the things that you need to handle when creating marketing campaigns. So if you get good at that and you practice it early in your career, it can help you speed up the learning curve for your entire marketing journey. So now let's continue. And the first thing that I want to introduce you to is the so-called copywriting framework, which I have built for myself to practically teach you copywriting and show you what are the things that I go through. So the first thing is what I call X factor or secret sauce discovery. And here I'm just going to talk about this framework, but we are going to practice and learn each of these things separately later on in the course. So the first thing is the so-called secret sauce or X factor discovery, where what we're trying to do is to figure out what are we really best at, what's our product excelling at, what's amazing about the product or the team or the brand itself, what is the real thing that we have and no one else has, and what are we better at than anyone else. It's a bit hard to do, but I'll show you how to do it. It's not a big problem. So then, of course, we have to be very familiar with the company's branding and value proposition, as well as the customer journey. And when talking about the customer journey, you have to understand that we are writing different copy or marketing messages or messaging. All three are kind of the same. And each of these messages are intended to move the customer to the next step, not to the sale. This is probably one of the most common mistakes that marketers make when writing their copy, is that they're trying to go for the jugular in the first ad. And yes, there are some cases in which that's good, but most of the time it's not good enough, and it does not perform as well as the customer journey approach and some of the other approaches that I'm going to show you. So the idea is that you should understand what's the customer journey and what are the phases, and each of your messages should try to move the customer to the next stage, not to the last stage. And so then, of course, we are going to have goals and objectives for each phase or stage. Obviously, those are going to be very, very measurable. Then we need to focus on our customer understanding. Of course, here we have our friend, the customer development tool that we have been using so far a lot. And then the next thing is something new. When we create copy, in order for us to create a consistent communication or a consistent journey where we can better transition customers from one stage to the next, we use campaign themes. These campaign themes are one of the secrets that I personally use in my copywriting to get a lot of success, because as we now understand, customers don't convert from the first message that you send them. Or if you're that good, maybe they do, but for most of us, they don't. And so what we need is to move customers through that journey slowly and smoothly, or quickly but smoothly. And so the idea behind the themes is that you start with one thing and then you move them through the journey by adding different pieces of that same thing, or just kind of uncovering more and more information about the same thing. And we'll have a complete lesson on that. So just mentioning themes here. And then, of course, I'm going to give you the one single formula that will help you make better copy, create ads, campaigns, emails, Facebook messages and posts, and everything that you are going to write is going to kind of abide by that formula. So it's kind of the one copywriting formula. We are going to talk about the metrics of copywriting, and of course, at the end of this copywriting framework, we combine all of these things and then start applying the scientific method to see which of our messages are performing better, just so that we can improve the performance of our business, right? And then that's it for this little introduction. In the next video, we're going to talk about the copywriting measures, and we'll start getting our hands dirty.